In 2021, Harvard University did a poll on young Americans. It found only 7% of those aged 18 to 29 years viewed the United States as a healthy democracy. 52% believe the American democracy is either in trouble or failing. By late 2023, it was still grim. The civic outlook for young adults in America shows that 52% have no or little trust in the government institutions. 57% of young adults are dissatisfied with the US political system.
It's time for a reality check for the United States of America, the world's oldest democracy that keeps schooling countries across the world about democratic values, as people in its own backyard do not seem really happy.
For most Americans, a lot of the reason why they supported liberal democracy has always been that it delivered for them. For young people, that's no longer true.
Delivered, that's the key word. The US political system doesn't deliver. Let's take one of the most talked about issues that's affecting young people: school shootings. This graphic made by CNN shows the number of school shootings each year since 2008. The light purple represents the number of school shootings that had occurred by the 66th day of each year. You can see that this year, on that day, which was March 6th, there had already been 16 school shootings, more than any of these previous years had. According to studies on the subject, the number of such incidents in the last 5 years combined is substantially higher than in the prior 20 years. What has the US government done to address it?
Despite incremental moves, up and down, it is so much easier to go into a gun shop or go into a gun fair or go online and buy essentially the kind of weapon you might use on the battlefield, but you should not be having under your mattress.
The new gun law is not an inspiring example of bipartisan cooperation to protect public safety. It's an illustration of how the worst instincts of both major parties combine to produce policies that are neither just nor sensible.
They say they are protesting to get more legal action to stop gun violence, saying they are angry more has not been done to stop school shootings and other crimes where guns are used.
We're the future, so we need our voices to be heard.
Another example of this would be climate.
We are going to be the ones carrying the weight of this world on our shoulders, and in the future, we're going to be ones that will be cleaning up everyone else's mess.
Climate change isn't just a political issue to me, it's my home.
A Washington Post University of Maryland poll found that 59% of voters 18 to 29 years old disapprove of the current administration's handling of the climate policy. CNN's analysis shows that US President Joe Biden vowed to end fossil fuel drilling on public land during the 2020 campaign. But after facing difficulties, the administration resumed auctioning off public land for drilling. Youth climate group Sunrise Movement's executive director told CNN that Joe Biden can't both try and win the votes of young people who care about the climate crisis and stand beside fossil fuel companies who are trying to violate our futures.
Thousands of young people around the country taking on climate change and fighting back against the adults in power, who they say knowingly polluted the earth.
Our government has not invested what is necessary to protect our country from the climate crisis. No matter what you're feeling today, if it's anger, if it's anxiety, if it's frustration, just know that this is how we win.
But whether it's guns, climate, or other issues that the youth are invested in, they are counting on the government to provide the solution. They need the government to provide the solution. But the government just isn't capable of doing that.
I think Washington is more of an open sewer. It's everything flows in and nothing flows out. Everybody just wants to stay in power, ma'am. It has nothing to do with doing what's right.
This is what nothing to do with doing what's right looks like. The 118th Congress is considered to be one of the least functional sessions ever. It passed only 34 bills in the first year. According to ABC, it is the lowest number of bills passed in the first year since the Great Depression.
I've been covering the Hill for 30 years. I've never seen it this bad. I mean, I can't remember anything where they just anytime they get any forward momentum, especially in the House, the hardline conservatives, they just try to pull their leadership in.
In October 2023, the same hardline conservatives removed the sitting Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. It was the first time in history that the sitting Speaker was ousted. And then it took 21 days, 21 hours, 9 minutes, 2 seconds, and 15 rounds of vote to find a new leader.
It is the worst year of the 9 years and 3 months that I've been in Congress. And having talked to former members, it's the worst year in 40, 50 years to be in Congress.
Young people are particularly sensitive to Washington's dysfunction. Pew Research Center's data finds that compared to their parents and grandparents, young adults are less likely to see a great deal of difference between the two major parties, and they are less likely to say that either party represents the interests of people like them well. Nearly half of them wish to have more political parties to choose from.
When they don't see follow through or they're kind of let down again by political leaders, it just reinstates that thought of why should I participate in this?
Well, it looks like American democracy is losing. It's no longer an inferiority complex between foreign democracies. It is that people don't view the United States, in my opinion, as the pinnacle that it used to be.
In the Eurasia Group's 2024 Top Risks report, risk number 1 is characterized as the United States versus itself. It says America's political system is more dysfunctional than that of any other advanced industrial democracy, and in 2024 faces further weakening. By the looks of it, the democracy that has disappointed so many will continue to disappoint the future.